I guess we can try, you know, if we fail with this one, maybe we can try Yaorochi. So let's go with Yabu and Tsubakura team first, see how it goes. And if it doesn't go too well, then I guess we can just switch to, well, to the Yaorochi team. Although, as I say, the Yaorochi team, the good thing that it has is that Yaorochi has an amazing attack power, but the range isn't really that good. It really is not. Even with Sukune that has a little bit more range, it's not really that good. Also, let's not forget, in this game, if we want to fight the actual last boss, we need to pick up 2,000, no, 3,000, I'm pretty sure, spirits. Spirits are basically those things that you see on the right. It's that number that you see right above the difficulty name. So we need 3,000 of those before the stage 5 ends if we want to fight the actual final boss. Which I don't think it should be a problem, especially since when you capture a spell card you get a lot. And considering this is a no bomb, capturing a spell card is basically what we have to do. We can do anything else really. If we don't capture spell cards, the no bomb will not be possible, since there's only so many times you can die, right? I gotta say that Sese is one of those characters that I don't like. I know that, you know, it's probably not a really popular opinion, but the thing about Sese is that I feel like they have a lot more protagonism than they should, right? Basically, Sese is this pretty stupid Gacha Dokuro, right? Which is a giant skeleton that, if we had to compare it with a Toho character, it will be kind of like Cerno, right? The difference is that Cerno, you know, it starts as a pretty weak character, right? And throughout the series, she starts getting more relevance, right? This one is weak here, and regardless of that, they keep appearing even in the extra stage. I feel like that's too much, and then they appear playable in the next game. I feel like that's too much for protagonism for a character that literally adds nothing. Hey AC Borsha, who's it going? Doing some no bombs. No, I mean, I've been playing a lot of Len'en these days, because I've been trying to get those no bombs. I already got normal no bomb for Len'en 1 and 2, and also an extra no bomb from Len'en 1 and 2. I got a gifted sub to this yesterday. Nice. I remember when I got a gifted sub quite some time ago. But that's because the request bot was my own account, like this account right here, the one that I'm using for streaming right now. That was the account that had the request bot. So a lot of people will be like, oh, let's gift a sub to the request bot, right? What they didn't realize is that it wasn't just a bot, so they actually gifted a sub to someone. But you know, those days are long gone. Well, play thanks. Yeah, honestly, doing no bomb it's pretty fun. It's just as fun as it is in Toho. But yeah, basically, a lot of times, I think even in Acer's chat, right? people gifted me subs because it was like, oh, this is their request, alright, let's give them a sub. But yeah, I remember that. It was interesting. It was pretty interesting, to say the least. You know, yeah, basically it's because the bot posts every time someone requests. As an active user, oh no, but I'm talking about actual people, like gifting it on purpose to me. Like they saw the request and they were like, oh, let's just, you know, let's just give a sub to a bot, lol. So it wasn't it wasn't accidental. It was, you know, people actively trying to give me subs because it was a bot account. In fact, a lot of people do that with Nightbot, Mikuya, you know, all those bots. They are like, oh, let's give a sub to this bot for no reason, and they do. They just give it for no reason, you know. I appreciated that they did that. Wasting money. Well, in all honesty, back when I got gifted subs in this channel, I actually was quite active. It's just that at some point I stopped caring about Osu, and considering that Beast is obviously mainly an Osu streamer, I, in exchange, didn't really care that much about his streams, but, you know. And I really don't have any desire to come back to Osu anytime soon, honestly. You know, because at some point I thought that, alright, maybe in the future I'm gonna actually will want to go back to Osu, right? But I'm like, not really. I really don't want to play Osu at all. It's like one of those games that, I mean, it was fun back then, but yeah, that's the problem. It's a lot of fun. What much of his Osu streams, honestly. Yeah, I think also the problem, you know, usually when I watch a streamer, one thing that really captivates me is the community, right? Like the chat. Like for example, Forsen's chat, always talking shit about Forsen, and you know, always saying really stupid stuff is what I like a lot about Forsen's stream, right? And that's pretty much something that every Forsen fan can tell you. That one of the most interesting things about Forsen's streams are the chat, right? And honestly, that's also the case for streams like Acer and Beast. The problem with Beast, and I also say this some time ago, is that the chat is just the usual, like the average Osu chat, right? And the problem with the Osu chat is that most of the Osu community is integrated, and I'm not saying this to insult anyone, it's just that it's true. The fact that it's composed mostly by kids, and again, I'm not using kids as an insult here. I literally mean that it's composed by kids, or teenagers, I guess, if you want to call them that way. But yeah, to the point where sometimes conversations are so, you know, dry, right? They just usually repeat the same thing. Composed entirely of 12 years old. So, I mean, it's accurate. It's pretty accurate. But, you know, again, I don't say that as an insult or anything. It's just that I personally don't find it interesting to have conversations with people that just repeat the same thing over and over again because they think it's funny or whatever, right? I mean, again, I say that and I enjoy Forsen's chat that is full of people that repeat the same shit all over again. But at least I think that Forsen's chat makes an effort to be funny. Also, communities, like, they just don't care. They repeat whatever shit they saw on Reddit and they are like, yeah, this is not gonna get old at all. Also, how is it going, Yamigamis? I never met a lot of kids. Well, when I say kids, I probably should extend that to kids and teenagers, because there's a lot of people that play Osu that are in their 14, 16 years old range, right? Obviously, I wouldn't call those kids. Those are literally teenagers, but I'm also not interested because they usually behave pretty similarly. Remember playing it for a long time? Oh! You actually played Osu, Yamigamis? Nice. The multiplayer lobbies were terrible. Yeah, I think I saw a multiplayer lobby once and yeah, I just stuck with single player. And then I got tired of single player and I just stopped playing. Possible they are not very high rank. It doesn't really matter. I mean, rank is not something that affects the way you talk or the way you think. It just means that you play the game longer than other people. It has nothing to do with how you interact with other people at all. I've seen people from high ranks say stuff that, you know, it's just stupid to say. Sometimes stuff that is borderline racist, right? And they should say like, oh, it's just a joke, bro. And I mean, I'm not one of those people that get offended, you know, by things like some light-hearted joke that is not really racism but could be interpreted as racism. So I'm saying that from a background where I don't really get offended by things like that. But they should go overboard with it. Like, you know, I don't want to give examples because I don't want to get banned, you know. And we're talking about community members here, like people like Monstrata, for example, right? A known mapper. Sometimes he says things that you look at that and you're like, how the fuck are you not banned? Like, yes, aside from being a popular member, right? But if you weren't a popular member, you will be either banned or people will call you a racist as they should. But yeah. Interesting, I'm pretty sure every person I talked to also seemed like they were very young. Yeah, exactly. That's also my experience. Like, that's exactly... Oh, I'm fucked. That's exactly my experience with Osu. It seems like every person that I talk to that plays Osu is really young. Obviously AC Borja here is an exception, but a lot of people that play Osu are just really young people that are trying to, you know, socialize, right? Like they are learning how to socialize, sadly, and I say sadly because they learn it from the internet, which is one of the worst places to achieve those kind of skills. They should behave, you know, in a way that I don't appreciate. I'll try to say some stupid shit, yeah. But you know, that's also something that I don't like about the community. Just because Monstrata is this person that everyone knows and it's a pretty popular mapper, he gets away with stuff that other people don't get away with. Learn to socialize on the internet, it can work well. Well, it depends, like... It also depends on what you call learn, because to me learn is having no previous experience. And I'm pretty sure you at least had some previous experience outside of the internet when it comes to socialize, right? To me, a lot of people, not every single one of them, right? But a lot of people that play Osu, it seems like they should learn how to talk to others on the internet. And they say all this shit that they obviously wouldn't say to anyone in real life, right? And I'm okay with that. It's not like I get offended or anything. I don't give a shit. It's just that I prefer to not talk to those kind of people, right? Problem is that those kind of people, if they, you know, started socializing with the internet, it's pretty hard for them to get out of that. So it's pretty hard for them to change. So, you know, it's interesting, but it was on some edgy forums. Well, I also don't think edgy forums help at all. Although I guess it depends on how you react to them, but a lot of edgy forums, you know, are just, you know, places where you say things that you normally wouldn't say in real life. That's not a good way to learn how to socialize. Also, that was bullshit, by the way. Those fairies appearing right from behind was complete horseshit. Just wanted to say that, because I feel like it was necessary. And the problem is the way people integrate into communities and try to expand them everywhere. I don't think trying to expand communities is a bad thing. It's just the fact that when you try to expand yourself to a wider audience, a lot of times wider audience also means lowest common denominator, right? And as a result, something like Osu community happens. But that's fine. I mean, there are people that like it, so happy for them. Yeah, exactly. And that's not a really good way to socialize, right? Like for example, I'm gonna give you an example that happened right today. So I'm on a Discord that I'm not gonna mention, just in case that, you know, the person that I'm talking about don't like it. So I'm just gonna say I'm on some Osu Discord, right? Or at least a previously Osu Discord, that basically a new member entered today and they were asking for tips, right? And people who know a thing or two about tips said, oh, you should probably do this and this, right? And they are like, no, but that's not gonna work. And then he asked, I need someone to help me, right? Like he keeps asking for help, even though he just got help, but he say no, that this is not gonna work. So, I mean, I obviously don't want to generalize, right? But when you see things like that on a repeated basis, you really feel like that's how the majority of the community is. Like, you know, basically a community I don't want to be part of. But even if the community wasn't a problem, it really has nothing to do with, you know, the fact that I stopped playing the game. I stopped playing the game because I just don't want to grind that much. Yeah, play more is exactly... I mean, that's the only advice that you should give. Because it's the only one that... Oh, fuck, I didn't know that was a hitbox. Hey, Flaming Earthfan, how is it going? Oh shit, you almost got hit by that too. Am I supposed to stay down here? Yes. But yeah, that's pretty much my story with the Osu community. Oh, come on, that was complete horseshit. And you know it. Like, how are you supposed to react to that? How am I even supposed to react to that? Alright, I know. That's how it's gonna be, huh? Okay. Sure. I My best advice is to play smart and think while playing to anyone asking for help in the game. Yeah, it's just that, you know, obviously when it comes to really hard games, people want shortcuts because they want to, you know, enjoy it like anyone that is good at the game enjoys it, right? The problem is that you really can't do that. Like, you can't have shortcuts. And that applies to most of the things, right? Most things you really can't do much other than just keep doing it, right? Like, for example, if someone asks how to get good at lifting weights, right? Like, there is no shortcut for that. You just lift weights until you eventually get buff and you can lift more weights or, you know, heavier weights, right? There is no shortcut for that. You just have to put work. The problem is that when you say that, some people get angry. Some people are like, oh, that's not helpful. Well, yeah, it probably is not helpful because you're probably looking at it from the wrong perspective, right? But yeah. I mean, honestly, most of the time, the only tip that you can give that is not really a tip, it's more like an advice, is that you shouldn't get discouraged for being bad at something when you start out, because that's obviously gonna happen. That's really the only thing that I can think of saying to someone that is just starting doing something, right? You can't say anything else. So like if someone, for example, wants to get good at Touhou, you really can, I mean, you just need to play. That's it. I mean, I can probably suggest you to use stage practice, right? I can suggest you to play some Touhou game first, right? There's no shortcut for it. You gotta play. Play and play more until you eventually get better. I know, it's not what people want to hear, right? I probably wouldn't want to hear it either if I was in the same situation. But it's the truth. There is no other way to get better. And again, you can apply that to everything. You can apply that to music, to sports. You can apply that to learning a new language, right? Well, I guess learning a new language is a little bit different because there are definitely better ways to learn languages than just read more, right? But, you know, for games, it's just play more. That's it. I think there are some things you should do. First of all, find the way that works for you, then play every day if possible for multiple hours. Remember, my advice always was to play lower BPM stuff, although it was a long time ago. It really depends. I don't think low BPM is gonna help when you are... I mean, it doesn't help because it really varies from map to map. I mean, obviously, if you play a low BPM map and you keep playing low BPM and you eventually reach fast high BPM, you're probably gonna suck at that. So I guess that's a good advice if you wanna get good at low BPM, but that's it. Like, basically what my point is that there isn't really a good advice. It's just play more. That's the best advice. Hey Deus, how is it going? We're just talking about getting good. It's a pretty interesting topic, in my opinion. Getting good at things. A lot of people want shortcuts, but you really can't get a shortcut. For us, it's not the same thing. There's a ton of skills to train. Yeah, but most of the people who ask for help are either people that don't know shit about the game and they just want to, you know, FC the big black in the first day of playing, and the other people that ask for that are people that are really good at what they are doing. Like, they are, for example, they can stream 200 BPM streams, right? And they still ask for advice. Like, if you got to that point, I'm pretty sure you don't need advice for that, because the majority of the players wouldn't know what the hell to do, since you're better than most of them, right? So at that point, even though it might be something that is genuinely bugging them, the fact that they don't know how to improve, you really can't say much. Not many people reach that level. As with people mashing, learning how to act properly, I guess, but it still really won't help that much, because again, it really depends on a lot of things. It depends on the AR, it depends on the circle size, it depends on so many things. The fact that you need, like the fact that you do good accuracy or not, right? Try hard here. Just take big bosses behind try-hard sessions. Wait, I just realized, sorry, this is completely unrelated, but I just realized that Fumikado has a horse in their backs. Interesting, I never seen that. Alright, I was saying that, yeah, taking pauses between, just taking pauses is already a good advice. Take pauses. Oh, I thought the game bugged. I forgot that the background actually got destroyed for whatever reason. Alright, let's fight this Titan of Fumikado person that is supposed to be the new emperor or whatever. Spoiler alert, they won't be the new emperor. That wasn't obvious already. Wow, that one bullet almost killed me 3 times. Almost. You know what the good thing about this is? Is that this is the easiest fight in the game. So that means that I just need to survive 3 lives of this fight and that's it. Because the final boss fight, you don't use your lives, you use the spirit meter. So we just need to survive this fight. And then, well, we need to survive with the spirit meter the final boss fight, which might be hard. I think it's definitely within my reach. So this is a pretty cool theme, by the way. Honestly, a lot of the Taira clan themes are really good, because they usually have this tune that you're hearing right now, like this melody. This melody is always in their themes, like with Taira no Chuki, the stage 4 boss that I don't remember the name of Len'en 4. Para's theme also has some bits of this music. It's just really well done. Although I still am pretty big disappointed that this boss fight is so easy. Like, it's so easy for no reason, because it is supposed to be, you know, the actual culprit of the incident. And they are so weak that it makes no sense. But that's fine. Belgar has a lot more health than I remember. I remember it being long, not this long though. And I'm using Tsubakura, which has godlike damage. That's fine, get on. Tanky fairies at the end of the stage. Oh, there's also tanky fairies at the end of the... Well, I mean in stage 6, which is what coming next. Taking big bosses can help you taking some of your bad habits to relearn them. Yeah, exactly, it is. Fumika dialogue sounds like they want to be a final boss. They were going to be a final boss according to Shins, which is the creator. they decided that they wouldn't be the final boss. And instead they made this the final boss. The problem here is that again, even if I don't depend on lives, every time you die, oh come on, every time you die, that meter that is right there, the 4,414, that depletes every time you die, and every second the fight passes, so this is still not free. But I wonder if I'm gonna be able to do it. I hope not Tsubakura, Yabusame says, I'm gonna call you Shion, and that's it. What does the meter do? Basically, from now on, when this fight starts, the meter is gonna start to decrease, and every time you die, it decreases like a big chunk. And if the meter reaches 0, the fight is over and you lose, pretty much. So you have to defeat Shion without the meter reaching 0. That's pretty much how it works. Yeah, this is the shortest stage ever, indeed. Okay. Bring it on. Oh. By the way, I don't remember Shion patterns because I usually don't do anything else other than bombing. So this is pretty much new to me. As you can see, these patterns are pretty much new to me. At least you can get some of it back if you capture spell cards. Shun also absorbs every time there is a spell card coming out. Also this weird ass spell card. Basically this spell card you have to even out the spirits. But it's pretty hard with a shot type like this that basically aims. It's pretty easy with shot types like Yaorochi and Tsubakura that I'm pretty sure they should pierce through that. Yeah, it's a pretty good theme. Probably one of the best Len'en themes, at least to me. Whew. What's a bad idea? Probably. Gotcha. I think this is the second to last spell card, is it? I think it is. So yeah, fading sense of smell, more like fading sense of sight. Is this the last one? Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, so we are fine. I don't think I'm gonna die here, although it gets really hard at the end of the spell card. But yeah, this is a pretty hard spell card. Especially with someone like Yabusame, where the damage is complete trash. Nice, and we actually captured it. Alright. I did not expect that. Did not expect a capture, but damn. Wasn't that even a perfect if it wasn't for the first non-spell? I think if I hadn't died on the first non-spell, that would have been a perfect. Nice. Gee, thanks. Thanks, that was pretty interesting. But then again, the thing about this game is that it's pretty much the easiest Len'en game there is. So, you know, I didn't really expect the normal mode to be that difficult. What's gonna be an actual challenge is the extra stage. It puts you at 0 lives at the end. Yes, because every remaining life that you get, it changes it for like 20 million points, right? So if you have like 3 lives left, you have something like 60 million points as a bonus, which is great because it actually encourages you not to die. So if you basically have like 5 lives at the end, you get more score than you ever did in the whole run. So yeah, basically it's really good. But because if you want to score in this game, like let's say that there is actually a scoring community in the game, you really need to not die, which is something that Touhou doesn't do. In Touhou a lot of times it's better to just die on certain spell cards than you know, than actually surviving. In this game though, you don't wanna die. So I think that makes scoring a lot better, at least competitively, right? But because it kinda merges survival and scoring, which is why I personally think that it should happen in games like this. Like, I feel like scoring and survival should be the same. It should be the same. It makes no sense that they are two separate things. So that's good. That's something good that this game has and Touhou doesn't. But you know, even if that's the case, I'm definitely not interested in scoring in this game, or in any game that is. Scoring to me is just a lot. So I still don't know who Shinbei is. I know that it's kinda like Tsubakura's familiar, but what does they look like? Whatever. Hot damn. Yeah, oh wait. How do I dodge this? Like, how do I play? Oh, I see. I'm supposed to use this thing to move. Alright. I see. So by the way, for those... Well, that didn't last too long. For those wondering, what I tried to do there is move a particle that you can use to dodge all those yellow bullets in the credits. That's a minigame. It's a mini game that is pretty interesting. Sadly, I died because I suck, right? Looks like I used my ability to miss stuff again. Hey, Riemann, how is it going? Yeah, I know Shinbei is you know, Tsubakura's Shikigami, but what do they even look like? Reminds me of the Undertale credits, yeah. Bad ending, yeah, I know, right? Now I have to do all of this all over again. Although, in this game I'm pretty sure the credits don't do anything. Like, if you beat the game in the credits, you don't get anything. You do get it in Len'en 4. In Len'en 4 you get an achievement for that. But yeah. Either way, Riemann, you shouldn't worry about missing this. This wasn't even hard. Like, this was basically just, you know, kinda like a warm-up for the real thing. The real thing is about to start, and that is the extra stage. I don't even know if I can defeat the true last boss of the extra stage. I don't think so. I definitely don't think I can do, but at least I'm gonna try to defeat Tenkai, right?